CrossTeach is an educational charity that has been teaching about the Christian faith in schools since 2001. In the run-up to Easter, they normally run something called the Easter Experience. It's an interactive workshop where pupils can explore the real meaning of Easter, but in the form of a murder mystery. A victim has been killed, and pupils must visit these 4 key crime scenes to witness the key events surrounding the victim's death. The victim's last meal with his friends, the garden, the trial, and the tomb. The pupils will gather and record vital clues as they witness these events, and they get to interview some of the key characters. Afterwards, the pupils get to decide and vote on who they think is the guilty party. And then there's a presentation that includes a shocking twist in the tale. During the COVID pandemic of 2020 and the first international lockdown, CrossTeach obviously couldn't go into schools to run their workshops as normal. Meanwhile, an organisation called FaithTech was running something they called the COVID Hack Global Church Hackathon. Their aim was to build technological solutions to the problems local churches across the world were now facing. My wife Elise and I thought this would be a great opportunity to try and build an online digital Easter experience that schools could use as part of their home learning offering. The structure of the project was set in advance. I wanted to stick with those 4 key crime scenes and have a little multiple choice style quiz at the end of each zone where pupils could record their finding. I also knew that I wanted to build it as an online web page so that people could run it on any computer in a browser without having to install any special software. Elise and I then worked together on finding an art style that we could reproduce at home and had a lot of fun doing that. So after about 3 weeks, we had a complete prototype from start to finish of those 4 zones. So there was the victim's last meal with his friends. You could hear some of the conversation going on, and that curiously the victim knew he was going to be betrayed and gives us a clue as to who that betrayer would be. Then there was the garden, where you could hear about these enemies who had it in for the victim. Next was the trial. You got to interview the judge and one of those accusing the victim. And finally, the grave. Here you could interview the soldier who was ultimately responsible for ending the victim's life by thrusting a spear into his side. So once we'd got this prototype, we shared it with a few friends in the local area. The feedback we got was generally very positive, but the consistent message we got was it could really do with some proper voice acting. Previously you just had to read all the dialogue. We were really privileged to get to work with some fantastic professional voice actors. So Liz Javad did a fantastic voice for Agent Ellie.
My name is CSI Agent Ellie. I'm a crime scene investigator, and I need your help.
We also worked with someone called Colin Cassidy, who's an amazing impressionist.
Hello, lovelies. I'd like myself to introduce you to me and myself and say pleased to meet you introductorily, of course.
Obi-Wan has taught you well.
He voiced the judge for us, which became this wonderful mix between John Burko and Shere Khan.
Order! Order! What crime has he committed? I see no reason to sentence him to death.
CrossTeach themselves managed to find a few volunteers to voice some of the other parts. Again, they all did such an amazing job.
Attention! My name is Private Phillips. At ease, everyone.
Then we just had to find ourselves a braying mob for the courtroom scene. I just went and asked as many friends as I knew who had good microphones at home to record themselves shouting, "Kill him! Kill him!" into a microphone. Some of them are wondering what their neighbours must have been thinking as they heard them late at night recording this. We're really thrilled with how it worked out in the end. CrossTeach did a little pilot with it at Easter 2021, and over 500 school kids used the digital Easter experience, and we got some really positive feedback both from the pupils themselves and from their teachers. It turned out to be a really fun way to explore a bit more about the true meaning of Easter. The digital Easter experience is still online at easterexperience.co.uk, and you're more than welcome to use it either as part of your school or just as an individual, perhaps with kids at home. If you find it helpful, do consider making a donation towards Cross Teachers Ministry. Wonderfully, Cross Teach are also now able to get back into schools in person to run some proper Easter experiences. If you're in one of their areas, I'm sure they'd love to hear from you if you're interested in partnering with them.